With his take on the 92nd Academy Awards, let's bring in Andrew Freund, who's joining us, entertainment host. He's in Los Angeles and, in fact, was at the big event. And we're going to show a picture of you on the red carpet. There you are here. What was it like?
It was electric. You know, this was my 11th Oscars, believe it or not. And every year, you know, I still love it. Even after all these years I've been going, it was electric. There's this energy on that carpet that you don't get at any other award show. And I've literally been to every single award show. But you know what? It's the Oscars, it's the Granddaddy, it's the Super Bowl. It was amazing.
What was the biggest surprise for you? You know, I mentioned, of course, about Parasite, but, you know, it was considered a bit of a dark horse, potentially to win Best Picture, and so it did. What jumped out for you here? What were you blown away by?
I mean, honestly, I was blown away by Parasite because specifically when you think about all of these other huge studios, Warner Brothers, Universal, Netflix, they spend millions and millions of dollars to market their movies to try to get these awards. And, you know, Parasite was distributed by a small little company called Neon that doesn't have, you know, $100 million marketing budget that, let's say, Netflix does. So I was super happy for Parasite. It's an amazing movie. It's an original movie. We need more original movies these days. And I was just so happy for them.
What were the most memorable moments as well? Stuff that kind of caught you?
I mean, I think my most memorable moment, honestly, was seeing Kristen Wiig and Maya Rudolph introduce those two categories. And then they did a whole song routine. And I honestly will not be surprised if you see them hosting next year. That was essentially an audition to host the show because, as you know, it's been 2 years without a host, and the ratings have gone down. Last year's show was the lowest rated ever with 23.6 million viewers. It was about 20% less than last year.
Yeah, well, and in fact, I was just looking at this as you were coming on the air, and again, we're seeing the ratings are again way down this time around. So clearly something's not working. You think it might be because there's no sort of host to help kind of anchor the show?
Yeah, and you know, honestly, I will not be surprised if we see a host. I don't know if it'll be obviously Maya or Kristen, but I think that the show needs a host desperately to help the ratings because, you know, and in terms of all the award shows, the Oscars is the most watched one. However, you know, it went down 6 million viewers from last year.
Yeah, let's talk about winners. Okay, so we mentioned Renee Zellweger for Judy and Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. I mean, those were pretty much done deals.
They were done deals. Also, Brad Pitt winning for supporting and Laura Dern also winning for supporting. We both knew they were going to win. There wasn't much surprise there. Both so well deserved, however. I thought it was amazing that Diane Ladd was in the audience, you know, and Laura got to see her mom, you know, one of her heroes. Obviously, of course, Diane is an icon herself. And also seeing Brad win. You know, I'm still shocked that he didn't even have an Oscar, and this was his first Oscar. So I was really happy for both of them.
56 years old, Andrew. Can you imagine?
No, I need to go to whatever dentist he's going to because he looks amazing, and I've met him. I've been fortunate to meet him and interview him, and even in person, he looks pretty good. Pretty good.
What about the snubs now? For example, The Irishman. You talked about Netflix and all the money they spent, and you know, and Martin Scorsese, and you know, these huge actors that everybody's been watching for decades, and just shut right out.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I honestly thought The Marriage Man. The Irishman was a fantastic movie. I mean, you can't go wrong with having those three guys in a film. But you know what? Sometimes it doesn't matter how much money you spend to market a movie. It just goes with what audiences wants. The Academy votes differently than, let's say, the HFPA, who votes for the Golden Globes. And Parasite obviously resonated with Academy members. You know, I also think that it was amazing that it won in foreign language. It's the first movie to ever win both categories.
And what about 1917, which was expected to take home a lot of hardware? They did, but not as much as people thought they would.
Honestly, I thought 1917 was going to win Best Picture. I was pretty surprised that it didn't win Best Picture. But 1917 is a phenomenal movie. I mean, if you go and watch the behind the scenes of how they made it, of course, everyone knows it does these huge long shots. You know, these sequences that can be over 10 minutes long that if one person messes up, they had to restart it all over again. And it took 2 hours just to set up those shots. I was very surprised it didn't win. But you know what? Sometimes these things don't go the way they're planned.
Yeah, and are you still recovering from all the partying?
I, I'm home now, Todd. I have not left my home. It was a long night. I was at the Parasite party last night when they won. It was at Soho House here in West Hollywood. It was crazy. They had a K-pop band come and perform called Ace. I'd never seen a live K-pop performance. Everyone was going crazy at the party. There was a lot of drinking. There was a lot of singing. There was karaoke. There was dancing. There was really good Korean chicken wings, which I did have a lot of. But yes, I'm in recovery, Todd.
Andrew Freund joining us from Los Angeles with his take on the Academy Awards the day after. Well, you're on the air and you're doing a good job, so thank you.
Thank you, guys.